What is up? Welcome to Monday's Hangxiety. Week 11, almost in the books. Are you panicking yet? I'm panicking a bit. It was a weird week in fantasy football. Travion Henderson gets everybody's pants tight on Thursday, but then all of the wide receivers and the Philadelphia Eagles offense and the Detroit offense let us down on Sunday night. Let's talk about it. Let's get that therapy session in. Good morning. Welcome to Monday's Hangxiety, your weekly fantasy football therapy session. Jay is going to join us later, so Ryan is in the host seat. With me, as always, Josh Hudson. Josh, we started the entire pregame show venting about your Eagles. You're happy, but you're not that happy.
Look, I'm always going to be happy as long as we're winning, but we got to stop winning these ugly games because, and I said this throughout all last week. I agree wholeheartedly with A.J. Brown. You can't keep slapping a Band-Aid on the offense and just think that the defense isn't going to break eventually, because it will. But holy crap, you hold the top two teams in the NFC North, well, formerly the top two teams, shout out to the Bears, to 16 combined points in two games. I will take that all day.
All day. Nah, it's still a victory Monday, and that's what matters. We're going to have a ton of questions popping up in the chat. Get them in there. If you've never tuned into the show, every question will get answered. Every frustration will be aired. Every grievance, I should have said, will be aired. I will remind everybody, if you like what you're hearing, hit that like button. If you want to hear it again next week, hit that subscribe button. We go live every Monday morning just to talk about the action from the day before, to get our frustrations out, to pray for those Monday miracles together. If you feel like your question is so important, you need to jump the line. Probably not the case on a Monday, but if you want to throw us a few dollars on Super Chat over on YouTube, we'll certainly take it. If you happen to be listening on Apple or Spotify, join the live show sometime over on YouTube. It's 11 a.m. every Monday. Otherwise, go ahead and hit that follow button so you never miss an episode. If you still want to talk fantasy after this show is over, we have a completely free Discord. Josh will drop the link in the comments. It's also in the description of this video. I'll remind everybody, if you had some great players yesterday, drop them in the comments. If you had your frustrations, drop those in the comments. We're going to get to everything. But before we do any of that, we take over the show for a bit. Keep dropping your comments. We will catch up. First thing I do is recap the scores. We go back to Thursday night. The Patriots take down the Jets 27-14. Travion Henderson, 3 touchdowns. Everybody's happy till we get to Sunday. The Dolphins do win over in Spain, 16-13. It was an ugly game. Nobody really performed outside of Devon Achane. Packers take down the Giants 27-20, but it was a Pyrrhic victory as they lose Josh Jacobs and Jordan Love for a period of time. I think Jordan Love came back in that game. Josh Jacobs did not. Texans hold off the Titans 16-13. Panthers hold off the Falcons 30-27. Bears hold off the Vikings 19-17. What a slate of close games. And then you get to the thorough beatdown of the Jacksonville Jaguars 35 to the Chargers 6 points. I'm frustrated with that one. We'll talk about it later. Best game on the slate. There were no questions asked. The Bills 44, Buccaneers 32. More on that game later. Steelers 34, Bengals 12. Turns out Joe Flacco is not invincible. 41-22, the 49ers take down the Cardinals. Rams 21, Seahawks 19. Broncos 22, Chiefs 19. Ravens 23, Browns 16. And as we've alluded to, Eagles 16, Detroit Lions 9. Week 11 finishes up with Monday night action. The Cowboys at the Raiders. I'm expecting no defense in that game. Josh, before we get into the man of the hour, someone very deserving of the man of the hour, any takeaways on just yesterday's games in general?
I'll say my last thing about the Eagles until way later. Shout out Cam Newton for saying that the Eagles were going to get exposed by the high-powered Lions offense. You can go suck one for that, big boy. Stop being such a hot take machine and learn it from Stephen A. Get with the program.
I think there was only one really exposed that happened yesterday. I guess you could say the Chargers, but there were some injury issues in that game. I think what was exposed is that Josh Allen is still that dude. As we get into the man of the hour, Josh, there was very little debate. There's one player who we are going to wax poetic about later in the show that you could have argued deserved this. And Josh Allen did turn the ball over twice. However, My man scored not 1, not 2, but 3 passing touchdowns. And in case you needed a little variety in your life, he added 3 more running the ball, Josh. Josh Allen, still the best quarterback in fantasy football.
Yeah, and honestly, this monster performance catapulted him over Drake May for QB1 on the season in fantasy.
No other quarterback in the league. I think I'm safe in what I'm about to finish my sentence here. I don't think any other quarterback in the league has this specific type of upside. Lamar Jackson isn't really running the ball the way he used to. Jalen Hurts isn't going to throw 3 and run 3 in the same game. He could do one or the other. He's not going to do both. Nobody in the NFL has the upside that Josh Allen possesses, plain and simple.
This season, I would agree. I mean, obviously, we've seen it from Lamar. He has 2 MVPs for a reason. Yeah. Quite honestly, should have 3. Jalen Hurts, we've seen these type of games. I don't want to say this specific type of game, but I remember a couple years ago against Buffalo when he had to pull out his bag of tricks and had like multiple rushing, multiple passing. But you're right. I mean, Josh Allen is that Buffalo Bills offense. Like, they have no star wide receiver. This dude was throwing to grocery baggers by the end of this game. Like, I don't understand how Buffalo has managed to fumble surrounding this guy with talent, because they're outside of James Cook, there is no talent on this team.
Well,
in the wide receiver core.
As someone who
and
adores,
that's with all due respect to Khalil Shakir, but he is not a wide receiver 1.
As was proven this week. How does your team score 6 touchdowns in a game and you end up with like sub 5, sub 2 fantasy points? Like, it was terrible.
It's awful. Like, they had to go back and get Gabe Davis to have some semblance of a deep game.
I think something that needs to be acknowledged, as someone who loves this kid, I don't know what the fuck is going on with Keon Coleman. Clearly, he's I was going to say played his way out of Buffalo. He's off the field issued his way out of Buffalo. This is his 3rd disciplinary action. That's a hard word. Thank you. But more importantly, to be a healthy scratch in a supremely important game.
Yep.
What the fuck is this kid doing? I hope someone sits his ass down.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, Florida State. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, missed the team meeting on Friday, for those that didn't hear. Completely out because of missing a team meeting on Friday. But again, this is more the straw that broke the camel's back sort of thing, because from what I understand, he has been suspended a quarter and a half already this season.
Yeah, and honestly, it just means that Buffalo has to be right back in the wide receiver pool. Like, you can't keep having Josh Allen play Superman. You're not going to win games. At this point, it became, we've got to do everything we can to beat Patrick Mahomes. Well, we've seen the change of the tides here with Mahomes and the Chiefs. Like, right now, you got to do everything you can to beat the Broncos. And the way that defense is playing right now, Josh Allen can't do what he did today against Buffalo or against Tampa against Denver. There's no freaking way.
Nope. Niori says Josh Allen scored 55 points in that league. Go. What a damn game. I know Josh Allen won. A ton of people, myself included, multiple weeks this week. Just put everybody on his back. Shout out to Josh Allen. Shout out to the chat who has things popping already, Josh. Man of the hour, Josh Allen. I don't think there's any debate there. Plenty of honorable mentions we'll be talking about in a future segment because some people had some days. Josh, the injury segment comes up next. So I'm going to save our first comment. Well, actually, you know what? I'll throw it up because we're about to talk about this in a second. But Joseph says Michael Penix might miss the rest of the year. Are we downgrading our Falcons?
I mean, based on Kirk Cousins' first start of the season in place of Michael Penix,
that's what I was thinking too.
Kind of think we have to. I think Bijan's really the only one that I feel safest about because while Tyler Algier is still, it's the best way to word it.
A thorn in everyone's side.
Yeah. Stealing some of the red zone opportunities for Bijan. Bijan is still the volume guy in this offense.
Yep.
Kirk Cousins has never been shy about throwing to the running backs. Bijan is obviously shown that he's a very capable pass catching RB.
Yes.
He's going to get the bulk of the carries. But again, the way that Kirk Cousins was throwing the football, now Bijan's going to see a lot of stacked boxes. He is a pretty efficient runner, but
harder to be efficient when you're facing 8 and 9.
Well, there's that, but also too, I think you're going to move the ball a lot slower, which the touchdown upside now dissipates.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins 6 of 14 on Sunday in a game that he did not plan on playing in. Not looking great once again, but I do think Josh is onto a point here. When a quarterback can't push the ball down the field, a la Dylan Gabriel, tight ends, actual tight ends, not Kyle Pitts, tight ends and running backs tend to benefit from that, Josh, because he'll have to dump off to keep that efficiency up. Third Eye throws out another Falcon who got hurt this week. If Jake London misses any time, Josh, who should Third Eye be looking to add? Michael Wilson, Christian Watson, Kayshon Boutte, and I'm going to be perfectly honest, do not even know Shaver's first name. I know he had a good game on Sunday.
It's Terrell Shavers.
Terrell Shavers. Yep. That I almost said that. So yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. So Josh, of these four, who are you looking to add?
Watson, Boutte would be my first two. The only way that I'm looking to go grab Michael Wilson is if I know that Marvin Harrison Jr. is out for an extended time.
Let's be clear what this was.
They have said that there's a chance that Marvin Harrison also misses week 12.
Yeah,
and if that's the case, I think you have to shoot Wilson to the top here. Like he ultimately vaults into that top of the food chain there for targets within the Arizona Cardinals wide receiver room. But outside of that, like he's getting targets as the second, but he's still the third option behind Harrison and McBride. So I don't know really what that's worth. But again, is Brissett going to throw 57 times every week? I don't think he is. And that's really what it boils down to for me.
Yeah, I'm not rushing out to get Wilson. To me, it's Kayshon Boutte, Josh. We have seen the value in that role. Not as valuable this week as it was last week, but they really didn't need it to be either. I'm gonna do what you always say, Josh. I'm gonna go with the best quarterback, and the best. Well, I was gonna say the best quarterback is Drake May, but I mean Shavers does play with Josh Allen, but Shavers' role goes away very quickly once Josh Palmer gets back into the swing of things. So I'm not in on this Shavers thing yet. I'll need to do a little bit more research, but to me, it's Kayshon Boutte or Christian Watson. Keenan said he just traded away Woody Marks and J-Mo to get Josh Jacobs. Welcome to fantasy football. Is he cooked? Do we expect Josh Jacobs back for the playoffs? I'm going to be honest, Josh. I have not dug into this week's injuries at all yet. I know that's the next segment. So,
yeah. By all accounts, there's more testing to be done today, on Josh Jacobs' knee injury. They think, again, this is all preliminary. Everything that I've read is that they suspect that it's not season ending, but that doesn't mean that he won't miss multiple weeks. So that said, you're in a good spot, Keenan, because you have Emmanuel Wilson. And this is what we talked about all last week.
Cuffings.
This is why handcuffs are important this time of year. Empty your bench depth to upgrade at other positions. Grab your handcuff running backs. Plain and simple. Like you cannot afford these types of injuries to go down. That's why handcuffs become important.
Joseph said, you got lucky, Josh, that he did not need candles this week. Jameer Gibbs still did his things. Well, actually, no, he really didn't. But he said he wasn't worried about the Eagles shutting the Lions down.
Yeah. You know what? They shut down Gibbs on the ground, but
through the
that
air.
Receiving game, oh, man, he had some big time plays. I think he had 5 for 107 receiving. But
that's exactly what he had, Josh. 3.2 yards per carry on the ground, though.
Exactly. Yeah, that Eagles run defense has gotten so good since they got Jalen Phillips. Whew.
Yeah.
God. Thank you, Dolphins.
Keenan having trouble at the wide receiver position. Is it time to sell QJ for a bag of chips? Nobody's buying QJ, just putting it bluntly. I do think we are at a point, Josh, where we need to trust Troy Franklin a little bit more, certainly more than Quentin Johnston.
Yeah, I think Franklin kind of is in that top 24, top 30 rest of season conversation. Just based on, look, Bo Nix has a comfortability with him going back to college, and we've seen this over I'd say probably the past like 5 to 7 years where teams are drafting wide receivers that played with their starting quarterback in college. Like we saw it, Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith, Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Waddle. I know there's a couple others that I'm missing, but those are the first two that came to my head. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, like guys that have comfortability. It's instant chemistry in the NFL. And we're seeing it now with Troy Franklin, who ultimately got bypassed because of size. Fell to the 4th round, so people just kind of brushed him off, but he's becoming Bo Nix's favorite target right now in Denver.
And Josh, we've said this before. Sometimes it takes time. Troy Franklin was a projected first-round pick.
There were a lot of teams that had
there.
him. Yeah, well, let me rephrase that. There were a lot of pundits that had him in the first couple of rounds. And, you know, for whatever reason, whether it was size or whatever, he fell to the fourth round. And, you know, the same thing happened way back in the day with Keenan Allen, one of the better wide receivers coming out of college. He ended up falling to the third round.
Yep.
It kind of worked out for the Chargers, not going to lie.
Yep. I'm guessing Joseph needed to add the word bench here, that he had Sean Tucker on the bench for the breakout game of the year. You're going to hear a lot about Sean Tucker.
Yeah, and I do want to preface this so that way I don't mess with it too much. I talked about Sean Tucker on Tuesday's waiver wire show.
You did.
I was very adamant that Sean Tucker is the better of the two running backs between him and Rachaad White.
Without a doubt. We've been saying that for 2 years.
Yeah. I was very nervous to put Sean Tucker as a starter, despite how good this matchup was, because I felt that the moment that I put him in my lineup, Todd Bowles was going to say it's a Rachaad White game.
Yeah.
So, of course, I only started him in one league, benched him in all my others. Probably could have used him in most of those other ones, but.
You're damn right.
Yeah.
Sean Tucker, more on him later.
I do want to give a special shout out to my friend Hannah, who I'm in a league with.
Okay.
She had Jonathan Taylor on a bye this week.
And started Sean Tucker.
And went and picked up and started Sean Tucker.
Hannah has more running back points than anybody in fantasy football right now. Because
she is steamrolling this league right now, and all my friends are like, why did you invite her? And I said, she knows her shit, man.
You don't get to bench a 42-point running back and start a 43-point running back. That's not how this is supposed to work, Hannah. You've broken fantasy football. Keenan's down 42 points, Josh. He has the Cowboys D and Dak, Javonte, Lamb,
his opponent
and
has the Cowboys D.
Opponent. Okay, I read it exactly how he wrote it. I understand now. Opponent has the Cowboys D. Keenan has the Cowboys O, and the Raiders O. Do we like the comeback chances? I love the comeback chances. Cowboys defense is going negative.
Yeah, right. So this would be the only cause for pause that I'll offer. The Cowboys are
Geno
1
Smith
and
turns
4.
the ball over like crazy.
Cowboys are 1-4 on the road. This game is in Las Vegas. I'm not saying that, you know, Dallas still won't steamroll the Raiders. But what I am saying is that the Cowboys defense is so bad, this game could get interesting.
Yeah.
That said, Cowboys do have some reinforcements coming. Overshawn, Revel, or corner. So maybe they, you know, look a little bit more respectable on defense. But look, you have the best options here in this game. You have Bowers, you have Lamb, Javonte. You're going to be fine.
Yeah. Josh, let's take a quick break from the questions in line and let's handle a little bit of breaking news. There was one that I did star. Bear with me just one moment. I saw that Shefty confirmed.
Did he confirm? Because I know that he had reported potentially season ending.
Oh, okay. I read it as confirmed, so we won't.
Let me pull up his Twitter account real quick.
But then, okay, so Joseph says confirmed. I can't find the damn comment.
All right. Penix, Schefter just reported 18 minutes ago. Penix suffered. Wait, no. No, he's recapping some of the stuff from college.
Well, let's just throw it out there. Penix is likely done for the season. It's usually when it gets to this, just throwing that out there. We're going to take a break on questions, but then Josh also recently reported by a bunch of people in the chat, Drake London is going to miss week 12 with a PCL strain. So not looking great for the Falcons. We're going to cover some of those questions in a second, but let's just get into the injury segment. We call it the unnecessary shot of Rumplements. It's the injuries of the week. Whew, it was an ugly week. So Calvin Ridley is back for exactly, I think, 7 minutes, something like that. Broke his fibula, will miss the rest of the season. His backup, Shamiri DK, goes out with a concussion. As we now know, Drake London, PCL injury, certain to miss week 12, could possibly miss more. Michael Penix, knee, likely season ending. We now know it is season ending. Dylan Gabriel goes out with a concussion. Shadur Sanders takes over, did not look great. Josh Jacobs, knee injury, further testing on Monday, not believed to be significant. Kamani Vidal goes out with a thigh injury. Jalen Warren goes out with an ankle injury and allows Kenny Gainwell to set the world on fire. Aaron Rodgers, potentially broken left wrist. That's going to be interesting, Josh. I don't think they're going to let him play with a potentially broken left wrist. So we may now be looking at Mason Rudolph yet again. So when you look at these injuries, Josh, obviously there's the Falcons. Everybody cares about the Falcons. Do we just want to take another segment here and break down this Falcons offense? Sans, Drake London, and Michael Penix.
We kind of covered it around the 9-minute mark.
Okay, there you
need to go too much more in depth. I mean, outside of that, obviously Josh Jacobs, if he misses any significant time, that's going to be a big blow. But hopefully that's a boost to the Packers passing offense. They haven't looked great since Tucker Kraft went down. Christian Watson seemingly got going a little bit, and we talked about that on Saturday. It was a great matchup for the Packers passing offense against that Giants pass defense. Christian Watson comes out for I believe it was 46 and 2 scores. There's room obviously for better production there. Matthew Golden also came back, didn't really do too much, but without Josh Jacobs, they're going to be forced to throw the football. And apparently Jordan Love needs Toyotathon to like really get going because homeboy is not looking great right now. Very mid.
Josh, you had an interesting observation that I think we can wrap this segment up with the Browns and their handling of their quarterbacks and their play calling when Shedeur Sanders entered the game. I just want to give you a chance to rehash that on air.
Yeah, Dylan Gabriel, before he went out, he played about 2.5 quarters, had 10 pass attempts, completed 70%, which is great. Not for much, obviously. This is not a great passing offense, the Browns sport, but immediately Shedeur Sanders comes in, takes a sack on his first drop back. Second drop back, throws an interception. In less playing time than Dylan Gabriel, throws 16 passes for a guy that has not played with either the first or second team in practice, as it's been reported.
Yeah.
And Kevin Stefanski confirmed that in the press conference after the game. Why is your backup quarterback who has never thrown a pass with the starters in practice coming out and throwing the ball more than your starting quarterback?
Yeah.
That is absolute coaching malpractice. That is setting up a young kid to fail. That is saying, fine, you wanted this. This is what you got. Whatever. Like basically conceding defeat at that point.
These were Josh's exact words.
Yeah, you can't. Every quarterback or every player, honestly, that has been ruled out with a concussion has missed the next game. I would fully expect Shedeur Sanders to start in week 12. He is going to get a full week of practice with the ones, finally. Is that going to mean anything? I don't know, because I do think that Shedeur Sanders was overrated coming out of college. I think he holds onto the ball too long, and I think this Browns offensive line is just going to get him killed the same way that they almost got him killed this week. I don't know what it means, but Kevin Stefanski needs to pull his head out of his ass.
And you got Max
and
Crosby.
Actually coach this kid.
And you got Max Crosby next week.
Yeah. Like, you go from Myles Garrett to Max Crosby? Are you fucking kidding me? Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, awful. I feel so bad for that kid. Honestly, I hate the publicity, but this is just the world that we live in nowadays. And honestly, I'm rooting for the kid because everybody loves him, but so many people are just shitting on him. And I honestly want to see Shedeur Sanders come out and succeed. The problem is Stefanski isn't coaching him. This honestly, the offense as a whole is awful. I will be shocked if he's able to do anything. And honestly, the Raiders are a team where he can beat them.
Absolutely.
You just got to avoid Max Crosby.
Yeah. Just stay alive, young man. Stay alive. Let's jump back into the chat. Joseph says, shout out to Tedero McMillan for having his breakout game. More on that in just a bit. Caesar, Fields outscoring May was not on my bingo card. Our good friend Chris Molina hit me up for fantasy advice about 25 minutes before Thursday night and said, am I starting Fields over these two guys? I said, no, Chris. Like, come on, man. And then Fields walks up the field and scores on that very first drive, and Chris sends me the crying emoji. I said it was one drive. And to be fair, for the next 45 or so minutes, I was right. But then he does lead a fourth quarter touchdown drive as well and came out with, 21 to 22 fantasy points. You can't hate on the game. It was a hell of a game for Fields, Josh.
Yeah, it really kind of pissed me off because Fields' second half heroics would cost me a DFS tournament win.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a weird one. But
I finished third in that, so I can't really be too mad. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, you profited, and that's what actually matters. But it no longer matters what I have to say. Because we got our host, folks. Josh will finish the layout there for us. There we go.
Just get here when you can. It's Monday. Just get here when you can.
Jay, we finished the injury. We're working through the chat. You want me to keep going, or are you ready to jump in right away?
No, we could jump right in. I guess we're at Joseph, right?
We are at Joseph.
There we go. Then Bucks scored 32. Stop it. We don't need to be reminded. That's it. Listen, I'll get to this question in a freaking minute, but I do want to vent for real quick. I know I'm going to vent later on when we get there. But Ryan and I were texting through this fucking game. I needed Tez. Yeah. I needed Tez to get like 8 yards and a touchdown, and we'd have had another W yesterday. Anyway, I'll stop. Joseph.
Jay, based on our chats that the audience doesn't get to see, Jay is the king of losing large sums of money by one leg.
or
what I mean by that is he's not betting large sums of money.
No.
He legitimately had a chance to turn 10 into 400 yesterday, but Drake London couldn't find the end zone.
Well, that's a Kirk Cousins problem.
That's the damn truth.
Bucks score 32. Tez only gets 2 points. Also, Chargers injury O-line finally caught up to them. Luckily.
I am so glad Joseph said this. I meant to say that earlier, Josh, about the QJ thing. I think we've seen the point where you can't have all of these injuries on this offensive line and continue to be a functioning offense. He brings up Gadsden and Ladd. QJ dropped a goose egg. You can't be the deep wide receiver when there's no offensive line. Kamani Vidal was also not good.
Well, and Kamani Vidal went out with an injury.
With the thigh.
So now you're coupling the offensive line injuries with no running game.
Yeah.
So defenses don't have to respect the run at this point. And for as great as Justin Herbert has been on the ground, he wasn't even running. He only had 21 rushing yards.
Yeah, let me ask you guys this, because this kind of shocked me yesterday, because I was kind of paying attention to the Bucs game on the big screen. I had the other games going on the smaller TV, so I was kind of looking over. But I did notice it was like 21-3 at one point. The Jags were just dominating this game. Then I look at the final box score for Justin Herbert. 18 pass attempts.
Yep.
You're down by fucking 3 scores. How are you not putting the ball in the air?
Well, the problem was 3 and outs. He wasn't being accurate. They weren't continuing even drives. He was turning the ball over. I have Justin Herbert in my home league. If everybody who plays in leagues with me know I love to penalize turnovers like crazy. Justin Herbert scored 0.02 fantasy points for me in my home league. So
fucking insane. Caesar says, once I saw I was playing against Allen in 6 different leagues,
That's when you find a new hobby.
What a
Caesar.
What a game. What a game.
Yeah.
Ken says, I have an empty wide receiver spot because of bye. Which wide receiver should I go get? Watson, Tez, or Shavers? Well, I mean, fuck, you saw Shavers just get targeted like a son of a bitch yesterday for no reason.
Yeah, I just don't see that continuing. To me, it's Watson because of stuff Josh said earlier. Josh Jacobs going down is going to lead to more throwing. You're gonna find out if Jordan Love is right or not. And when Jordan Love is right, Christian Watson is his guy.
Yep, it's Watson.
He's seeing 4 targets per game.
At 40 air yards per target.
There is that. This is Watson or Pierce the better pickup?
Not even close.
Yeah, I'd probably lean Pierce, but I tell you what, though, again, if the Jacobs injury is serious, I'm leaning more towards Watson. So,
yeah, that's a good point. I said not close like an asshole. It's way closer than I acknowledge it to be. I just love Alec Pierce.
Oh, my Lord. My genius opponent sat Allen for Herbert. That's why you should never roster.
And I'm telling you, so many people had Justin Herbert as their QB1 overall heading into this week.
I had him as 3. I'm not going to lie. I had him high. I'm an idiot as well. Guess who my number 1 was? Josh Allen, motherfucker. You don't bench this kid for anybody.
we kind of talked about this on Saturday, though, Josh. There's certain players we're not benching. You're not benching Drake May, of course. You're not benching Josh Allen. You don't bench Jalen Hurts. You don't bench Patrick Mahomes. I mean,
but this is the second part of this question. That's why you should never roster multiple QBs. And this is time. You don't need a second quarterback unless you're coming up on that player's bye week.
You are putting yourself in that horrible position of having to fucking make a choice.
Yep. Because the way that Josh Allen has been playing this year, sure, he's been steady, but this has really been the first, pow game that he's really had this season, right? So in reality, you could make the argument because Justin Herbert has been one of a few quarterbacks this season that's been averaging over 20 fantasy points a game. Based on the matchup, sure, maybe it works out. But again, what Josh Allen offers, he offers the kind of upside that we saw in week 11 that few other quarterbacks offer.
No, me and Josh have been fighting about this all show. So no other quarterbacks offer that upside. Don't listen to what Josh says. None of them do. 3-3, nobody in the NFL can do it but Josh Allen.
Yeah, that's super fair. I love this next question by Skywalker here, though. Is Sean Tucker worth an ad? If Bucky Irvin returns, he won't get as many touches.
I'm honestly, I was thinking about this before we went live, Ryan, because I know your waiver wires, your top 5, you're going to look at all these people. Sean Tucker is going to hit that list.
You're damn right he is. He's about to be the cover athlete.
Well, and here we go. Tell me that's not an overreaction, though, if Bucky Irvin comes back.
He's not. Josh, honestly, I don't know that I'm putting him on the list. I may have to acknowledge
but that's the
why.
point I'm getting at. Like, everybody is going to be rushing to get Sean Tucker.
We've seen this story before, folks.
And that's the thing is that Sean Tucker, to me, as this question poses, is only viable if Bucky Irving does not play in week 12.
All I'm going to throw out there, and Jay, I'm going to let you jump in because this is your squad. Sean Tucker is great. Do not get me wrong. There is a large gap between Sean Tucker, the running back, and Rachaad White, the running back. Do not forget how good Bucky Irving is. Bucky Irving, the running back, is probably that same gap above Sean Tucker, the running back. Bucky Irving is fucking good.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say, though. I mean, we haven't seen Bucky Irving since week 4. So we have forgotten how dominant that kid is, right?
So good.
But the other thing, though, is two things can be true here. Rachaad White might be looking for a new team next year because this
he's a free agent.
This undrafted free agent right here is absolutely shown that if Bucky is out, he can handle any workload that there is. Now, the other side of that coin is maybe next year we don't draft Bucky as high because now we have the two-headed monster in the backfield with these two guys because both of these guys can not only run the ball up the middle outside, they can also both catch the ball. And get yak. So something to keep an eye on.
My biggest worry here is that for whatever reason, this coaching staff, this front office, they like Rachaad White. And I don't understand why. Yes, he's good in the passing game. He's a good pass blocker. But at the end of the day, you need production. Sean Tucker is giving you production. Rachaad White is not. And for what it's worth, the Bucs play the Rams. Do you really feel comfortable starting Sean Tucker against that Rams defense if Bucky Irving doesn't play? Because I don't.
I feel comfortable starting Sean Tucker against anybody.
I will tell you this.
The Bills' run defense is ass. Plain and simple.
I'm being facetious for those who don't watch this.
Todd Bowles has many faults, one of them being stuck to his assistants. If he's stuck that much to Rachaad White, he can go with Rachaad White next year.
Yeah, they say he can go find him.
He is that dynasty manager that is so stuck on draft capital 6 years down the road that they forget that the player is no longer good.
Clyde Evans there. How you doing?
Are you saying I shouldn't be holding Jahan Dotson?
No.
Joseph, I know it's early, but I like to ask these questions throughout the week to see your mindset change through the week. Love, Brissett, week 12.
Jacoby Brissett is such a conundrum because that kid loves to turn the ball over, but he always manages to figure it out by the end of the week. He threw for 450 yards this week. As Josh pointed out, you can't expect him to throw the ball 57 times every week, but he just keeps dropping 20 fantasy point weeks. I'm going to keep riding with him until he doesn't.
Yeah, he gets the Jags at home. So the Jags are on the road. Love plays the Vikings at home. Look, you can throw on the Viking secondary too, but I do think that Love's job is going to be harder if they don't have a running game to establish. So honestly, I'm fine streaming Brissett this week.
I mean, he's barely a streamer anymore. I looked the stat up. I looked it up for Trey McBride. I swear Jacoby Brissett, since he's taken over, is like the QB 8, and that's just off of vibes.
How many games has he played?
This is his 5th. He started in week 6.
I can find out for you. Give me a second.
Yeah, I could have.
Joseph, I'm going to bring this back up, Joseph. I just want you to understand this.
Brissett's QB 8 since week 6.
Second question here.
Damn, I'm good at
this. Comment. This is why you never roster multiple quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yep.
when you're choosing between Jordan Love and Jacoby Brissett, I think
you need a backup.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know that you have one quarterback, let alone two.
Mr. Lee says, trade a Chan and London for Amon-Ra, Olave, Chase Brown.
The first two words of this sentence, Mr. Least, I think you've done a few shows with us. The first two words of that sentence, even though you have me as your profile picture, it looks like, is we are not trading Devon Achane ever.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
I mean, look, I get it if you want the wide receivers simply because Amon-Ra.
Yeah, your roster construction.
Amon-Ra's not going to go against Quinyon Mitchell every week. All right, this was like a career low catch percentage for him, but
Devon Achane is going to play with Tua Tagovailoa every week.
Well, he's not playing next week because the Dolphins are on a bye.
That's a good point. Oh, you know what? I will reverse course. If you need a Week 12 win, there's nothing more important than making the fantasy playoffs.
Yep.
Nothing more important. You need.
And the way Chase Brown is looking, Chase Brown is actually looking like the top 10 draft pick that
I will concede.
And you're getting a lot of value there, especially for a injured Drake London who could miss multiple weeks.
I'm just going to leave it at this. You will have to pull Devon Achane from my cold dead hands unless I need a win in Week 12. So that's what it really comes down to.
One more, and then we'll get over to the hangover of the week. Trump Force, with London injured, is your favorite Mooney worth an ad?
I need to take a look. I'll be honest. When Drake London let me down, I did not dig into this game as hard as I should have. Did Mooney really 7 targets, 3 catches for 34 yards? I was going to say, I didn't think he hit the way people are acting like he hit, and I don't mean this person. Later on in the comments, someone said he looked good. The fact of the matter is this offense sucks with Kirk Cousins. Darnell Mooney hasn't looked good this whole season. I'm in no rush to go add Darnell Mooney. I don't think he'll even make the list tomorrow.
I will remind you this: Kirk Cousins is now the quarterback.
Exactly.
That's really what it boils down to. I mean, he was very heavily targeted last year. Obviously without London, he sort of takes that step up because they really don't have much depth outside of those two at the wide receiver position. Maybe it's good news for Kyle Pitts. But I think overall, it's just a big downgrade for the Falcons. Depending on who you're dropping, maybe. But I'm not like blowing a top waiver priority on it.
Very fair. I'm not adding Mooney anywhere. Let's get over to the hangovers of the week. I'll give you the list. You guys pick your guy and let us know what's going on there. The list goes like this. Eagles passing game. Yet again. Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Caleb Williams, Quinshon Judkins, Kamani Vidal, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston with the big-ass goose egg, DJ Moore, and Khalil Shakir. And last but not least, everyone's favorite tight end in the world, Kyle Pitts.
I think this is a situation where it's last and least.
Josh, lead us off.
Yeah, I'm going to go JJ McCarthy. I'm trying really hard to be patient, especially because of everything that Kevin O'Connell has said in the past, that he feels that organizations fail young quarterbacks and not young quarterbacks failing organizations. When you look at the 2024 draft class, JJ McCarthy arguably walked into the best possible situation.
Absolutely.
This Vikings team was 14-3 last season. 14 wins. This is a team that can compete. They have one of the, if not the best defensive coordinators in the league in Brian Flores, who makes something out of nothing with that defense. He has Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison to throw to, one of the top wide receiver duos in the NFL. He has a quality tight end in TJ Hawkinson. He has a good running back room, and he has a solid offensive line. And yet, this guy looks like Tim Tebow, where he can't get shit going for 3 quarters and then suddenly turns into Superman in the 4th quarter. That is not a recipe for success. Nope. And you can clearly see the frustrations with Justin Jefferson in this offense right now. He's not seeing the football as well as often as he should. Jordan Addison had all of 2 catches for 20 yards and a touchdown. That's not going to get it done, and that's just not how this team is going to operate. If JJ McCarthy can't take a step forward, and again, I fully understand that he is still within his first year starting because he missed all of last season. It's going to be frustrating, but it's not looking good if you're JJ McCarthy and if you invested in him, plain and simple. If you roster Jefferson, Addison, any of those Vikings playmakers, you cannot feel confident with JJ McCarthy at quarterback.
Yeah. I don't have a ton to add there, except for the chat has just been completely right about this. We have done our best to be like typical football analysts and be like, maybe there's some good here. And when I say we, I probably mean me. The chat, every chance it's gotten, has been like, fuck this guy. He's terrible. And Josh, you hit the 14-3 with Sam Darnold. JJ McCarthy sucks. I mean, that's what it is.
I mean, really, at a certain point, it's if he can't get it going, ownership is going to be like, why did we want this guy? Yeah. The GM is going to be like, dude, we got to bring in somebody else to compete. We got to push him, blah, 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 whatever. The fans are going to be like, why the fuck did you draft a guy that couldn't throw the ball in college? Right? The pressure is going to mount. And at a certain point, Kevin O'Connell is either going to have to choose whether he meant what he said or he's going to have to backtrack and admit that I made a mistake, that that's not the guy that I thought I drafted, and go out and get someone else, plain and simple.
For sure.
Yeah, the only pushback I will give you is, like you brought up a minute ago, is, he is in his first year. He's only played 5 games. I get it. He sucked in college, though. We've said that coming out of college. So, yeah. Ryan, who's your guy?
I'm getting worried about who had become Fantasy's collective guy. David Montgomery felt like he was just old, reliable, slow and steady. We were worried about this last year when Montgomery went down and it became the Jahmyr Gibbs show. To use a worn out phrase, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. Since then, and specifically looking at this year, David Montgomery is a non-startable asset, plain and simple. He's had 2 games where you're like, yeah, I started David Montgomery. One of those games, you probably started him against Baltimore. But then he had the dud against Cleveland. I don't even know if you started him against Cincinnati. You probably should have. Since then, average as hell. And I'm just going to break down what he's done this season. 25 yards, 57, 151, 12, 65, 24, 21, 40, 71 with no touchdown, and now 27. And then there's the aspect that they no longer use him in the passing game. He is sitting at probably, I don't have the number right in front of me. It's like 22 targets this season, 19 targets this season. And in every game but 4, it's been 1 target. I believe fully that David Montgomery is nothing more than a bye-week fill-in in fantasy football now, Josh. I'm legitimately worried. I don't believe he deserves a starting spot on any roster.
Yeah, he's the RB 27 in points per game this season. This is how I will sum this up. However you feel about Jordan Mason, apply that to David Montgomery. They are the same player.
Oof. He was so good for us for so many years.
That's really what it is right now. Like, they're the exact same player. They're in split backfields. They are some opportunities in the red zone. Maybe they get a touchdown here or there. But quite frankly, they're yielding carries to better players.
Yep. Yeah, Jay, it was a rough one for you.
It's David Montgomery. That's just so disappointing,
gotcha.
The way that's come about. Man, it is what it is. Chat, make sure you are dropping your disappointments into the chat as I go on this rant right here. It's not necessarily a fantasy football rant, even though I know we are a fantasy football show. I'm going to rant about my fucking shitty ass head coach who is too goddamn stubborn. And it's not even that he's loyal. He is just glued to this coaching staff that he has put together. The Rashad White bullshit, the coaching staff as a whole, going for 2 multiple times when you don't necessarily need to go for 2. You're in the 3rd quarter. Why are we going for 2? Score the fucking extra point that would have put us within. We would have actually had the lead at one point if we'd have just kicked the 2 extra damn points. But no, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. Todd Bowles, remind me, defensive-minded coach, right? I mean, sure. That's what he's known for.
I agree. I was going to say, yeah.
Okay. What defense? what defense? I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. We could not stop them from scoring. The only thing that stopped Josh Allen from scoring was not the Bucs at all. the Bucs suck. And there's no way that this team is a Super Bowl contender as it is currently constructed with this coaching staff. I remember the good old days. Warren Sapp. All you got to do offense is score 19 points. Guess what happened? We won a championship that way.
Yeah. I was going to say, you got the banner. Millie calls out the banner.
That's true, Millie. We're going to skip your tell me about your team here. So we
no, he waits till now to chime in after we've already talked about the Falcons. It's perfect timing for him.
Yeah. Most most Falcons are still waiting. Come on, drop Vidal for Marks or Emmanuel Wilson. I'm sorry, drop Vidal or Marks for Emmanuel Wilson in a PPR for Lynn.
I'm probably not in a rush to do this. Emmanuel Wilson's an average player at best. I get dropping Vidal. They are on bye next week. Justin Herbert's dealing with an injury. The offensive line is awful. I'm probably just going to hold Vidal, but I get it. If you need a running back, if there's a chance, Josh, we say this all the time on Tuesday. If there's a chance you're going to play Wilson, I'm okay with it. I'm holding on to Marks though.
Yeah, I'm fine holding on to Vidal and Marks. Again, like we don't know yet about Jacobs. Thankfully, that news probably won't come out until later today or Tuesday before claims really need to get put in anyway before Wednesday. So you'll have some time to figure it out. Vidal's still the starter there. I like him better. Marks, his usage is just so up and down. Tennessee finally decided to stop the run this week. I mean, to me, they're all kind of the same guy, truthfully.
That's fair.
So.
Yeah, I'm not rushing to do that either. Easy B says I lost Laporta as his tight end. Thoughts on a decent, affordable tight end for a trade?
Head to clubfantasyffl.com every Thursday morning. Ryan drops his stream of the week at tight end. That's your answer. Stream.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't know that you're going to pull off a trade, and I'm trying to run through tight end.
Whatever trade you can pull off for a tight end, you can probably pick up one with a better matchup on waivers.
And that's kind of the point. Like my stream of the week this week, I don't think Loveland did shit. So I guess that did fantasy points. Yeah. So, just for trade targets, the problem is the players who are performing well, like Travis Kelce would have been interesting. He scored a touchdown yesterday. You're not getting him for affordable price. George Kittle goes off. Kyle Pitts sucks. No, to Josh's point, any other player I would mention right now, they're temporary. Did Juwan Johnson get dropped yesterday? That might be your best bet, is to go check your waivers and blow it all on Juwan Johnson.
There's that. Don't know if y'all touched on this, but Drake London has a PCL strain. It is confirmed. Penix is done. More than likely.
Yeah. To Josh's, Josh mentioned this earlier. So around the 9-minute mark, we break down our thoughts on Atlanta. So
there we go. Oh, Trump. You don't tell him that. 9 minutes. He's going to go back and look at the 9-minute mark now and see how bad y'all beat up on Atlanta. Third Eye says, I've been holding on to Trey Benson. Should I hold or drop him for Gainwell, Wilson, Rodriguez, Tootin, or Monungai in a PPR?
None of those guys you mentioned are starters.
Well, Chris Rodriguez is a starter now, but he's still the starter for Washington, and so it doesn't matter.
I mean, look, I've been down on Benson just because I don't love the matchups for Arizona. But at the end of the day, right now, he's still on IR. He hasn't started. He's not off. So, but Gainwell, Wilson, Tootin, Monungai, I mean, these are all backups. Well,
the problem is Gainwell and Wilson are now dealing with potential injuries in front of them. I don't
True, but again, we don't have any information on whether those guys are missing any significant time, which to me, just burning a waiver claim at that point. Like Gainwell still has, standalone value. Rodriguez, standalone value. Tootin had no value for 2 months before yesterday. Monungai also still some standalone value. But again, these are like very low floor flex plays if the starter is playing.
What I will say is I'll dig into it again for tomorrow's show. The news on Benson last week did not have me confident he's coming back anytime soon. So that's all I'll throw out there.
Yeah, and the Warren injury, I can't remember exactly what time or where or what the score was at that time, but it looked like he could possibly come back into the game. They just didn't want to. Yeah, they didn't want to run that chance. We got houses near you. Says 10-team league. Look to drop the BTJ in a PPR. Rank priority. Non-PPR. I'm sorry. Rank these players: Omari and Hampton, Wilson, Sean Tucker, Chris Rodriguez, Tootin. Thanks, fellas. Go check out Club Fantasy FFL tomorrow to see what Ryan has as far as the waiver.
I'll quickly answer this though. Unless I hear news on Josh Jacobs, I'm not dropping BTJ for any of these guys. Maybe Hampton, I guess.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Again, we don't even have any info on Hampton.
Or
we
have, he could have played this week, but hell, why not?
Yep.
Yeah. So like right now of these guys, the one that I would probably prioritize is Rodriguez.
Just because he kind of has
as strange as that is.
Yeah.
If we find out any info on Bucky, Tucker obviously vaults to the top of that list. But again, like I don't love the matchup against the Rams this week. Wilson shoots to the top if Jacobs misses significant time, but again, we don't have any of this information, so it's all speculative.
Yeah, hard to judge on a Monday.
Drone Force with the horrible news here. Vrabel said Robinson will return to practice this week.
Yeah,
get his starting job back.
Vrabel's the kind of guy that would let the same way that Canales gave Hubbard the chance to earn his job back. Vrabel will be that guy.
I don't think he will. I'll disagree. I don't think he will. I think Ramondre Stevenson is now officially the 2 and not the 1B.
God, I hope so.
Don't we all? Nori says, well, what is it? Is it just me? It feels like Travion's 3 TDs felt like an audition for the RB1 role.
God, I hope so.
Yep.
God, no doubt. Thanks for the love. Goodbye, Joe. I'll get my ass kicked in that one there.
So you survived last week, though.
I did survive last
Barely.
week. Thank you, AJ Brown. This week, it will not happen. The only person that I could lose to is also on this show, and he's got 2 players playing tonight, and I don't see them not getting 5 points combined or 6 points, whatever the hell they need. Hey, so my friend who I played has Lamb and Pickens playing tonight. I only have Prescott. I'm winning by 12. Should I start the Raiders quarterback over Prescott?
God, no,
absolutely
no.
not. Absolutely not.
You're in a decent situation here where for him to score, you have to score. I think 12 is a good gap where you're facing your 2 best wide receivers.
Yeah, and don't forget, this could very easily shift one way or the other. Like maybe they throw the touchdowns to Ferguson and Prescott gets points and their wide receivers are just racking up yards.
Yeah, unless you get positive points for interceptions, do not start Geno Smith.
Is there leagues really like that?
Yeah. What do they used to call them? Oh, they had a name for it. Chaos leagues or something like that. They had a name for it, but yes, there are where you get points for bad stuff.
Ken says, do you like the Texans D for week 14 through 17, or is there another you would consider to pick up off of waivers?
I don't like any defense for any period of time that is not 1 week. You play it week by week. Texans have one of the best Ds in the NFL. If you're going to roll a 1D, I don't know their schedule. I'm going to be honest, Keenan. You watch the show enough that I can say this to you. I'm not even going to go look it up. I can stream defenses. The Texans are a good one to pick. I just don't know their schedule, and it's not going to matter much to me. I'm going to play it week by week. Yeah, I can't imagine they have 4 consecutive good games in a row.
It's going to be hard. They got Buffalo, Indianapolis, KC, Arizona, and Vegas to end it out. So
Josh Allen did turn the ball over twice, but I'm sure nobody wanted to start the Tampa Bay defense this week. So.
It looked great for the first, 30 minutes.
That's true too.
Of real time, not game time.
Yeah, certainly not game time.
Mooney looked better than he was in weeks. Do you think the Cards going forward? What do you think of the Cards going forward? Knight, Dortch, Benson, and a deep PPR.
It's either Benson or Knight is the issue. I don't trust Dortch. This offense is very much clear that Josh has said this for weeks now. They target 2 players, Trey McBride and the wide receiver 1. That happened to be Michael Wilson this week. I'm not all in on the Cards moving forward unless your name's Trey McBride. And then I'm all in. Anything you want from me, Trey McBride, you can have it, baby.
That's the long and short of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jones is 6-5, and I've lost 3 in a row. Barkley, Devontae, Goddard gave me no chance. Any suggestions? Dart, Flacco, Nico, Devontae, CMC, Barkley, Goddard, Warren, Olave, Debo, Gainwell, Bigsby, McLaurin.
McLaurin's doing nothing for you. Bigsby's doing nothing for you. I understand why you have him, though. It is cuffing season, so I'm not going to be mad about that. You've actually cuffed up nice. Who's your tight end? Am I missing it? Oh,
He's
Goddard.
inconsistent.
Yeah. If you can upgrade at tight end, but I'm going to be honest, I don't know that you have the tools to upgrade at tight end. But if you can find some sucker who will do something with Goddard and McLaurin to get you a real tight end, that's about it. But again, Goddard's kind of that like middle of the pack guy where no one's going to give you a good tight end. And there are worse tight ends to start than Goddard. So
package Debo and Goddard and go get a better tight end.
Too. Yep.
Take advantage of the wide receiver 4 finish this week for Debo.
And Tron, I'm also going to tell you, we've said this for weeks. 3 in a row sucks. It absolutely does. 6 and 5 can make the playoffs. The most important thing is stay active, stick with your lineup, look for this trade market, work the waiver wire.
You'll get Dart back next week. Nico's fine. Devonta, I think that was really just a product of all the AJ Brown bitching and moaning. Yeah. CMC is going to carry you. That's fine. Barkley at this point is a solid RB2, which again we'll
you have the best. Later, you have the best RB1 or the second best RB1, and you have a solid RB2. So
yeah. And then Jalen Warren's a solid flex. So
find the Saints fan in your league and trade Olave.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Yeah. Or if Jawan Johnson's out there, I'm going to be saying that a lot this week. Jawan Johnson is a must-add for tight end needy teams.
Cash money 7 and 4, second place, most points. I was offered Jamar and Rico for my Nico and Bucky Irvin. He's on a must-win mode, 7th seed, and thinks Jamar will get suspended and Bucky will be back. It's a no-brainer.
Oh, because of the punch. I'm like, what are you talking about? I forgot about the punch. A spit, yeah.
Probably will get suspended. I don't think it'll be more than one game. So, I mean, if you get the best player. That's Jamar. Like, I'm absolutely
Jamar's the best player, and we still don't know. I mean, Bucky should be back this week.
And I would rather have Rico than Bucky at this point. So,
yeah, Rico has been an absolute smash. Consistency is there, and you've got the best player in the trade is Jamar. Yeah,
Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase, plain and simple. You got to go get him.
Don't worry about this past week. What's Chase Brown worth in Dynasty right now, Steven?
Probably a late first. Non-superflex. Superflex a second.
I'm trying to think. I've actually seen Chase Brown moved in a couple of my Dynasty leagues lately.
And when I say late first, you're probably going to need to throw a player in there that has a mild appeal. Or if you're selling Chase Brown, I think you ask for a first and a player you want.
Yeah, I would say probably in a Superflex, multiple 2s.
Yep, would
be like the draft pick valuation, or a 2 and a player, maybe like a Woody Marks or somebody like that. Non-super flex, definitely a first because he's a starting running back, and that's what you pay for running backs in non-super flex. Yeah, that's probably where I would go with that.
Just confirmed Michael Penix Jr. partially torn ACL.
Oh, damn, that sucks.
Didn't he? Isn't he the one who had like?
He had 2. Yeah, he tore his ACL and his left knee in both 2018 and 2020.
So hopefully it's not the same knee.
Not.
I don't remember.
Because if so, that's going to be a huge blow.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Third eye, pick 1 PPR. Keenan Allen, Christian Watson. Booty.
I mean, it's still Keenan Allen for me.
I think in PPR, it's Keenan Allen. The other 2 are half PPR and non-PPR options. Yeah. Yep.
All right, let's get over to the shot of espresso. We'll list some performances, see where you are with these guys, give you some honorable mentions to start with. Bryce Young, Brock Purdy, Bijan Robinson, welcome back to the NFL. Kenneth Gainwell, Etienne, Tyrone Tracy, welcome back. Devin Singletary, Michael motherfucking Wilson, Nico Collins, Deebo Samuel, Christian Watson, George Kittle, have a day, why don't you? And Travis Kelce.
First off, how did Kenneth Walker not make that list? Because damn.
I don't know where he fell in my criteria. I'll be honest. I know he had a decent day, but
yeah, he was top 10. He had over 20 fantasy points.
It didn't meet my criteria.
I'll do the list over again, Josh.
Kenneth Walker.
Josh, lead us off.
Sean motherfucking Tucker, baby. Let's go. As I mentioned earlier, I said on Tuesday, go get Sean Tucker because he's going to have an opportunity. And I don't know why Tampa doesn't trust him more frequently. But maybe they should, because this is the kind of thing that happens. 106 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5.6 yards per carry, 2 targets, 2 catches, 34 yards, and a 3rd touchdown. He was the RB2 on the week, even outscoring Travion Anderson, who had 3 touchdowns on Thursday. Thank you very much. He does it all. He's that damn good. I will repeat this till I'm blue in the face. The only reason that he was an undrafted free agent when he would have been a 2nd or 3rd round pick 3 years ago was because of a heart condition that popped up pre-draft.
Yep.
He rounded himself into shape his rookie season. He had a couple of breakout games last year. He had another breakout game this year. Believe in Sean Tucker. Tampa Bay, believe in Sean Tucker. It's okay. He's a good running back. Play him. God damn it. He's so much better than Rachaad White. God, I hope this continues. But I'm honestly, the fact that Bucky practiced heading into week 11, it makes me nervous. But you know what? They've been telling us that he'd be fine for 8 fucking weeks. And we still haven't seen him. Because he's going to fucking play and believe in him, damn it. All right,
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Sean Tucker, even if Bucky is back, giving Bucky the breather and having
certainly for the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, 100%. Ryan, who's your guy?
Sean motherfucking Tucker. I told these guys it was going to be the show. I do want to pour a little water on Sean Tucker because I'm probably going to get some shit for not including him tomorrow. For those who just started playing fantasy this year, I'm going to take you all the way back to last year. Week 6, Sean Tucker takes over as the starter for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 14 carries, 136 yards and a touchdown. 3 catches, 56 yards and a touchdown. Oh my God. We were in it then. We liked Sean Tucker in the draft. We liked him after this. Sean Tucker, for the rest of the fantasy season, after scoring 34 fantasy points that week, scored 23 fantasy points.
I fucking hate you.
Hey,
for the rest of the season.
I got it. I know how to do it.
That's fair. But there was only one person I could mention in this segment. He's already been mentioned in the chat. I love me a tall wide receiver. I was very excited to have Tedero McMillan, 6'7", Tedero McMillan end up in Carolina, and we finally saw it this week. My favorite wide receiver of all time, and I'm not being facetious here, is Mike Evans. I have liked him from the day he stepped foot in the NFL. His game, I understand it's kind of an archaic game for the NFL anymore. It's not how they want their wide receivers built. It works. 2 weeks ago against New England, I got to saw Drake London, one of my favorite wide receivers, look like Mike Evans light. This week, I got to see Tedero McMillan look like Drake London light, and it just brought a smile to my face. 8 catches, 130 yards, 16 yards per catch, 2 touchdowns in this game, a long of 39 yards, and I think he had another 30-yard catch if I remember correctly. This is something we have not seen this season. He had one other 100-yard game, one other 99-yard game. His long reception to this point was all the way back in week 2. It was 40 yards, but then up to that point, it had never went over 26 yards. We're seeing the throws downfield. Bryce Young obviously got hurt in this one. Bryce Young is completely untrustable. I don't know if this is going to continue with Tedero McMillan, but it shows me what this kid is capable of. Almost 3 100-yard games this season, his second multi-touchdown game. Unfortunately, all 4 of his touchdowns have come in 2 games. One of those came against Dallas, to be expected. The other one came against Atlanta, and Josh, you even said apparently Tedero McMillan is the exception to the rule when it comes to Atlanta and wide receiver ones.
Yeah, I was down on Ted all week because Atlanta absolutely clamps down wide receiver ones. And Bryce Young and Tedero McMillan said, we don't give a fuck. But I will say this, though. When you look, if you want to just look at box scores, if you watched any of the game, look at what Tedero McMillan did. Look at what Xavier Legette did.
Yeah.
This is what Canales envisioned.
This is Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Yep. This is their offense when it's humming. That is your stat lines. That is what we wanted, or at least what I wanted when it came to Xavier Legette. And you know who's not in that picture? Jalen Coker.
Yep.
All those cokeheads out there, stop buying into this kid. Xavier Legette is who they want to be that role.
I got a dynasty question. I work a couple of different paths for football guys. I got a dynasty question where a guy mentioned, should I go after these receivers? And I can't remember the names right now, but it was like decent wide receiver 1, are decent wide receiver number 1, decent wide receiver number 2, or Jalen Coker. And I straight up was like, Coker doesn't belong in this discussion. Let's be perfectly clear here.
No.
The Carolina Panthers used Ted in the slot a lot yesterday. A lot. And of course that gave Xavier the outside, and they both ate.
I conclude, I don't know. I still believe Dave Canales is a good coach and offensive mind. I don't know that he's ever going to be on the exact same page with Bryce Young. I don't know that this is going to be a situation where moving on is going to help for either team. I love Bryce Young. I really do. I like his personality. I followed this kid for 3 years pretty closely because I cover the Panthers. I like this kid a lot. I just don't know if it's there. I just don't want to see anything ruin Teteroa McMillan. Like I said, I need I like Mike Evans is going to be gone soon, and it's a huge hole in my heart. It's going to take 2 players to fill it: Drake London and Teteroa McMillan.
Yeah, I think he's a good coach. I think Bryce Young is just the roller coaster of quarterback that we don't want.
Hold on a second. Before we move on, Millie, you have watched this show enough that I have been destroying this offense for 11 weeks. I am allowed to be nice to one player without you getting in your Atlanta Falcons feelings.
I'll give you my guy real quick, and I go all the way back to Thursday, because if it wasn't for Josh Allen or Sean Tucker, this guy would have been the thumbnail. And it's Travion
I'm not
Henderson.
putting a Thursday guy on the thumbnail after Sunday game. All right, this is not happening.
We could have put Michael Wilson on, and everyone would have been like,
yeah, right. Exactly.
24 touches, 93 yards, 3 touchdowns, 32 fantasy points this week after he followed up a 28-point game last week. I think he's arrived, and I think it's time to give him his credit.
5 touchdowns in 5 days.
Yeah. I saw. Holy shit! What a stat.
The great part is he's receiving as well. I
saw some story, and it may have been in our Discord or Twitter or somewhere, where someone benched Henderson, and I'm like, he had just balled out the game before and got. In what world were we ever benching Travion Henderson? Like, wild to me.
No idea.
Yeah. All right, let's get back over to the questions real quick. Joseph, do we have faith that Ladd and Gadsden will bounce back, even though this game exposed how bad the O-line is?
I may steal Josh's thunder here, but I'm trying to give Josh credit. Josh predicted this. The bad O-line is actually why I have to go back and watch the film and look at the snap numbers. But Josh mentioned when you get a bad O-line, you need to run 2 tight end sets and you need blocking tight ends. When you run a 2 tight end set, it's Ladd who probably comes off the field. When you need blocking tight ends, it's Gadsden who comes off the field. At the very least, you're asking him to chip, which is hurting him in the receiving game. I think it's the symptom and not the diagnosis. So
yeah, they need to throw the ball more than 18 times to be accurate.
Yeah, that fucking helps too.
Just a little bit. I want to bring this up real quick. Yes, we do answer all.
Oh yeah. Sometimes it takes a while. We get a lot of questions across all the platforms. We also have our segments that we want to hit on and everything else.
Yeah.
But there is a way. There is one way you can make sure yours gets to the top of the line, and that is with the super chat, because we will stop what we are doing and answer your question right away. Zach says, I'm late, but I wanted to say good call on keeping Kittle and Derrick Henry in, down 6 points with Aubrey still to play. Does he have a chance?
You're damn right he does. I hope you get 6 points for a 60-yarder, because he's hitting one tonight, baby.
I don't know if he hits a 60-yarder. It is the freaking Raiders.
They're going to do it for fun at the end of the half, if I'm right. Think about how great of a clip that is.
Lane Johnson out 4 to 6 weeks with a Liz Frank.
Did we know that was coming, Josh? I did not know that one.
Well, Lane Johnson's been in and out of the lineup really all season. He was healthy going in it. Well, and I say healthy. He left early in week 10 as well. I saw that Schefter confirmed it. They're saying that he's not necessarily ruled out for the season, but IR is a possibility, especially given that, we're coming up on week 12. They're just another blow to a very inconsistent Eagles offensive line this season.
With Mooney, it's similar to Godwin. Been sitting and waiting this long in deep leagues. There's not much else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's deep leagues. That's the problem. Is it's a lot of bench flyers.
Yeah.
Guys, are we dropping RJ Harvey? Dude, seems to be.
First off, no. If you follow Ben Albright on Twitter, he literally told you Jaleel McLaughlin was going to get run. This is what Sean Payton does. Again, it's the next man up mentality. RJ Harvey has his role. This is what I've been talking about all season long. RJ Harvey's role might get a few additional touches, but he wasn't going to take over J.K. Dobbins' role. They were going to elevate other people into that role. Jaleel McLaughlin has just been chilling. That's what he did. He came in, he took J.K. Dobbins' role for the most part, but this was never a good matchup for RJ Harvey. We told you all week, temper expectations. Kansas City has a good run defense. McLaughlin just happened to steal the touchdown. Otherwise, RJ Harvey has a better day if that's the case, if he's the one that scores it.
100%. Thoughts on Pearsall? Feel like he looked healthy.
So I notoriously don't watch a ton of the 4:00 games, so I can't comment whether he looked healthy, but he was 0 for 3. I'm still not in love with the performance. That's for damn sure. So,
yeah, I mean, people were asking all week, start Pearsall, start Pearsall, start Pearsall. I was like, let's see how he looks first. But here's the other side of it. Even if he comes back healthy, which clearly he did, he's now competing with CMC, George Kittle, Juwan Jennings. This is a funnel offense where it literally goes to 2 to 3 guys, and that's it. Somebody's going to be the odd man out in a given week. You just don't know which man it's going to be.
For 3 quarters,
maybe Kittle.
For 3 quarters, it looked like Christian McCaffrey was getting frozen out of the passing game, and I was nervous, but that all changed at the end of that game too.
So like, and again, I mean, Purdy only threw 200 yards. He just happened to have 3 touchdowns, which is great. But Pearsall didn't do anything. Pearsall's going to have some opportunities. Those big blow-ups early in the season before he got hurt and injured the knee, Juwan Jennings was dealing with injuries.
Yeah.
Now Jennings is healthy. Pearsall comes back. Who gets the targets?
Jennings.
There you go. So I'm not holding out hope for Pearsall right now. I'm fine rostering him and just kind of see, but it's going to be a case where when he pops, it's on your bench. And when you put him in your starting lineup, you get duds like this.
We have compared this offense to the Green Bay offense for so long, and there could not be a better parallel.
Yep. My sanity is okay right now. We shall see. And yes, the good old days. I know, Millie, the only good old day you know is 23 to 3 or 26 to 3 or whatever, and then it ended for you real quickly. What's up, fellas? Up 69, and they have Javonte Williams, Powers, and Ginty. Is he good? Is Dustin okay here?
Maybe.
Yeah, your biggest worry is the Javonte Williams 3 touchdown game. I think you're fine, but I do think Javonte Williams could easily score 3 touchdowns here.
Are you saying Javonte Williams is bitter about not being the RB1 this week, and he's going to show out?
No, we're saying that the Raiders are that bad.
Raiders are awful, and Javonte Williams just keeps falling into the end zone. So,
This is true. This is very true. You did get swept by Carolina and Bryce Young. I traded away Abuka and RJ Harvey for JSN. Good job. Fuck yeah.
JSN. Love Emeka Abuka. JSN is the best wide receiver in PPR right now. Jamar Chase probably, but JSN.
Need Javonte to get me 15 tonight while dodging a combined 20 from Ginty and Pickens. Fingers crossed.
I think you're fine on Javonte. I'm worried about the 20 from Ginty and Pickens. We got a super chat.
Yep. And go ahead and pull it up, Ryan.
Yep. It's the most recent from Skeeter. Thank you for the $2, Skeeter.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Skeeter. What are the chances Dak gets 17 tonight?
I assume you mean at halftime, because I think he's getting that with no problem. I hope you want to hear that he's getting 17. I like Dak. I know he has been down the last 2 weeks. I think you put him in prime time against a subpar defense. I think he cooks tonight.
Yeah, my only worry is Cowboys suck on the road.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I think 17 is pretty doable.
They suck on the road outdoors.
Unless you don't want him to get 17, and then I'll say that he's not going to get it. No, I really do think he gets it.
Craig says, here and glad to have Allen 50-pointer, but Abuka only 9 and Devonta Smith 1 this week. And now I hear Drake London is doubtful. Nope, it actually is confirmed.
He's
Drake
out.
London is out.
Nope, not playing week 12.
That's rough.
Yeah, I mean, that's the nice thing.
When you get 50 from your quarterback, it helps.
When you have these high ceiling guys, it definitely helps the situation. And Josh and I briefly touched on this. I think actually it was before the show. If you go just sort by like the highest rostered wide receivers, they were all a bunch of fucking letdowns this week. So
up by 45 with Ginty versus Javonte and Bowers. Is he safe?
Yeah, you're fine. Unless it's weird scoring. If it's regular scoring, you're fine though.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Ryan, are we selling high on Tet?
No. Wait,
you don't want Justin Jefferson.
Oh, bring that back up. Bring that back. What was the question?
That's the long and short of it. You don't want, like, that is not an upgrade.
So you want to, yeah, you're giving up Tet and a piece for Jefferson. I'm sorry, it's not. No.
That is not an upgrade.
I gave someone terrible advice, and Joseph, it might have been you. I know they use a different name on Discord, where we were trying to work through Jefferson and Pearsall for CeeDee Lamb, and we worked on not making that trade, and now it just feels like terrible advice. I thought Jefferson was going to bounce back. I really did.
I know hard when you have JJ McCarthy. More points tonight, Javonte Williams or Ashton Ginty in a non-PPR.
I would bet it's Javonte.
I would also bet it's Javonte. I think he just has that nose for the end zone, as I pointed out before.
It's okay to laugh. Brings up thoughts on adding Benson. I think we've talked about this a little bit.
I was going to say, he's actually been in my article the last 2 weeks, if you had the stash room for him. Every time I read about Benson, I'm less confident he's coming back. Tune in tomorrow, and I'll have my weekly update. So
yeah, because it's the same report. It's the same report as Bucky Irving as well. I think the same guy writes those reports. Joseph Fields getting benched. Yes, he did.
Yeah, and the chat.
Well, I want to preface this really quick. The Jets themselves have not confirmed it. It's being reported by the Athletic's Diana Rossini, who has a very spotty track record this season of reports and bad sources. So take it with a grain of salt. That said, Aaron Glenn in his press conference today, when asked about benching Fields, he did say, ask Diana, because he's a petulant child when it comes to dealing with New York media. So take that with a grain of salt. But at the end of the day, the Jets aren't winning with Justin Fields, no matter how many fantasy points he's putting up. By the way, who said Justin Fields would get benched this season?
I was going to say
this guy, and I got railed for it. So
you did, but you are also 3 weeks late. You said it would be by week 8.
In fairness, he was benched by then. Tyrod Taylor just got hurt.
Yeah, he was dead on. He was dead on. Otten sucked. Me need good tight end.
I'm glad Jay read it.
We love you, I promise.
Well, I'm glad Jay read it that way.
Yes,
if you just read the first 3 words,
I
thought we were going somewhere else, and I was like,
I read it 3 times, Ryan, before I put it up. I'm like, okay, I got to.
If I was hosting, if I was hosting, we'd be X-rated right now and lose our monetary.
Yeah. On waivers, Fannin, Loveland, Juwan Johnson, Zach Ertz, Theo Johnson, Mason Taylor.
So I got asked this question a lot last week, and basically these exact same players, maybe by Quincy. I was high on Loveland for upside. Cole Kmet leads him in targets this week. I am all fucking in on Juwan Johnson. There is a connection between he and Tyler Shugg. It's Juwan Johnson for me, and it's seriously not close.
Yeah. Juwan Johnson's the guy that I would want. Theo Johnson, I thought he'd be a little bit better given, Jameis and his desire to chuck the football.
He had a touchdown call.
Actually targeting. Yeah, he was targeting Theo on that interception, I believe.
Yeah. Well, and there was
no, it was Jalen Hyatt. Sorry.
Yeah, he was targeting OPI or DPI. He got Theo Johnson. That got Devin Singletary his first or second touchdown. So
gotcha.
Yeah, and then famous Jameis had to go and steal one.
Yep.
Safe to say Franklin, wide receiver 1 in Denver rest of season.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly a confidence there that he does not seem to have with Cortland Sutton anymore.
Joseph says, I think we've kind of hit on this one with Wilson, but pick up Bam Knight or Wilson if Jacobs is out for a
they are saying that Jacobs is likely to miss this week.
I'll be honest, I don't know the schedule. Does anyone have that?
Packers play the Vikings.
And then Arizona has...
That's at home, too.
It doesn't matter. They're running
Jacksonville.
You want Emmanuel Wilson.
Arizona at Jacksonville, but or Jacksonville at Arizona. We talked about that. Yeah, it's Emmanuel Wilson.
Juwan Johnson of Theo this coming week.
It's Juwan or Theo, and it's Juwan.
It's Juwan Jennings, correct.
Listen, I can read it.
Juwan Johnson. If you could start Juwan Jennings at tight end, do that, though, too.
I can read it the way it's said.
that you can definitely do that. It's not helping anybody in the audience,
Nope.
but you go ahead and do that.
Nope. Let's go over to panic or chill out. The dud that was merely a blip.
Jay, I'm going to jump in here real quick before we do that. There are 2 questions that I think got missed.
More than likely.
That are starred. I'm just going to throw them up real quick because one of them's from over an hour ago. Shout out Niori. Sorry about that. Josh, what are our thoughts on JMO rest of season with all these dome games?
As long as Dan Campbell's calling the plays, Jameson Williams is a starting wide receiver. There's so much more consistency with Dan Campbell calling the plays in terms of getting Jameson Williams the football. And that's what I said heading into the season. John Morton has no fucking clue what he's doing as a play caller. And what did he do? He targeted the big dogs. Monter St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs. Those were the 2 guys that were really the only consistent pieces in that Detroit offense. The last 2 weeks with Dan Campbell calling the plays, guess who's had value? Jameson Williams.
Yeah. Jay, it was only one question. We're good now. The other one you got, I just didn't see it. So
Yeah, no worries. I probably didn't pull the star off of it, and that's fine. Let's go through a list of players here. You tell me, are we panicking? Or are we chilling the fuck out? Josh, I want to start with you if that's okay, because I want to hear your thoughts on this guy. Jalen Hurts, QB6 overall, tied for QB6 in points per game, only has 2 rushing touchdowns since week 3. He had his first game over 30 rushing yards since week 4. QB8 since week 4. Has only 1 TD pass in his last 2 games. We've seen the issues with the passing game with Philly, but Hurts isn't running like he has in years past either. So what's your thoughts here on Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, I mean, considering I just swung a deal with you to acquire him in a dynasty league, I should lean into chill the fuck out.
It's a dynasty league, though.
Yeah, right. No, I'm gonna stay with chill the fuck out. I think with some of the upstarts, maybe he's not the top 3 guy that you kind of thought at the beginning of the season, but I don't think he's as inconsistently, headache minded as Bo Nix. So I'll say chill out. I think he's probably more of a, 5 to 9 starting quarterback versus top 3, but he's still going to add value in the running game. He had a rushing touchdown this week. The rushing hasn't been as consistent, and I feel like a lot of that is because right now they're coasting to win the East, and they just don't want to get him hurt, which, all right, cool, I get, but at a certain point, you got to get this offense going, and this offense goes with Jalen Hurts being able to do every facet of what Jalen Hurts does.
If I am sitting in my league from spot 5 to spot 9, and my playoffs are on the line, I'm in full panic mode on Jalen Hurts as my quarterback. Safe floor, but it's a safe and super boring floor, and I'm not seeing the ceiling as of late that I want to see. I'm not saying it's not there. I'm just saying, and Josh, you hit exactly where I was going to go on this. With guys like Jackson Dart emerging, it's really hard to continually not start Jackson Dart and continue to start Jalen Hurts. And those are the kind of problems folks are running into. So I would say I'm closer to panic than chilling, but I it's not like I'm not benching Jalen Hurts to go get Bryce Young. Like, I'm not doing that.
Wait a minute, Ryan. I thought you liked Bryce Young.
I love Bryce Young as a human being. Bryce Young will not be starting on a fantasy football team for me anytime soon.
Let's move over to the running back position here, Ryan. Saquon Barkley, RB13 in points per game. I feel like we're picking on the Philadelphia Eagles here because we are.
Josh made the list, my guy.
I made the list.
Well,
I'm happy to pick on my own team.
Yeah. 8, 9 and what? 9 and 2, 9 and 2, 8 and 2.
Yeah.
And still, I just don't know if they can turn the switch like we've seen with Kansas City in the past. But that's besides.
Now, with Barkley though, I'm far less worried. Yeah, there's no passing game, but the fact of the matter is this: he doesn't have the ceiling he once had. But first of all, we tempered everyone's expectations coming into this season. So the last 2 weeks when the Eagles have kind of been asked, he was still at 10 and 13 PPR points. He's seeing 20 plus carries every game. He's not going to stop scoring forever. There's a drop in efficiency. Josh told you that was happening. There's a drop in production. Josh told you that was happening. Maybe it's because my expectations were already tempered for Saquon Barkley. I'm not panicking at all. He is an RB2, and if I have him as my RB2, I'm perfectly happy to start him every.
That's the problem, Ryan. You draft, and you as the general public drafted him as your RB1.
Mm-hmm.
What you got to hope for is the person we talked to in the chat earlier. Hopefully you drafted Barkley first and Christian McCaffrey second, and then
or Jonathan Taylor second, and then
flip
it's
your
just flipped. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I again, if you're still holding out hope that he's an RB1, you're panicking 100%. But the only Saquon Barkley shares that I have are in Dynasty. I knew this was coming and I prepared for it. So I'm kind of chilling. But again, like adding in now Lane Johnson being out 4 to 6 weeks,
you're adding
this hurts Barkley's upside, plain and simple.
Yep.
The only positive right now that I'm taking from Barkley's season right now is he has been more involved in the passing game this year than last year.
Yeah.
Plain and simple, which they talked about in the offseason. They want to get him more involved in the passing game because we know that he's not going to run the football as well. Well, guess what? He's not running the football near as well. He's not averaging 4 yards carries. I think he's at 3.8. He has only 4 rushing touchdowns this year, but I believe he also has 2 receiving touchdowns this year. So, there's pros and cons to this, sure. The RB injuries that have happened, maybe he vaults up into that low-end RB1 range by the end of the season. But again, if you drafted him as your RB1, you should be panicking.
Yeah, that's fair.
If you weren't already panicking, let's put it that way.
As a whole, the Eagles are winning games, and that's all that fucking matters when it comes to the NFL, but it doesn't help our fantasy. Let's move over to the wide receiver. Wide receiver 26th overall, wide receiver 31 in points per game, 4 of his last 5 under 10 fantasy points. 1 TD in his last 5 games, and now his quarterback has an injury. DK Metcalf.
Full panic, but I've been in full panic on DK Metcalf for a very long time at this point. It is not going the way I thought it was going to go, plain and simple. 6 targets per game, not doing much with those targets. As you've mentioned, not finding the end zone nearly as much. 1 100-yard game this season. Nothing over 55 yards since week 6. Like, it's just been all ugly. And then it's a epidemic of Aaron Rodgers not pushing the ball down the field. The last 3 games, he hasn't caught a ball over 24 yards. Last 4 games. It's just, I have no interest in DK Metcalf in any of my starting lineups at this point.
Yeah, it's full-blown panic for me. I had him as I think he was actually statted out as my either wide receiver 12 or wide receiver 13. And a lot of it was because it wasn't the target volume. It was touchdowns. It was, he's going to get those downfield targets the same way that George Pickens did in the last couple of years with Arthur Smith. But DK has touchdown upside. And that's something that George Pickens never had in this offense. Well, apparently they just traded George Pickens to get George Pickens and pay him $30 million a year because they're using him literally the exact same way. Rodgers is not pushing the ball down the field. He has 1 touchdown in his last 5 games. 1. He has 5 on the season. That's it. That's not getting it done. Plain and simple.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers has not passed for 250 yards a game this season either.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah, he had that 4 touchdown game against Cincinnati, and
that's
me bought in. Yeah.
Didn't even hit 250 in that game. Tight end 17 overall, tight end 17 in points per game, on pace for his best season since his rookie year. As many catches as he had all last year, 3 straight under 8 fantasy points, 1 TD all season. Showed some consistency, but Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. I'll let you go, Josh.
Yeah, I think it's kind of full-blown panic, I guess, in the sense that he wasn't drafted to be a tight end 1, but he was kind of giving you that level of consistency, but that's really fallen off here for the past 3 weeks, and I don't think it gets any better with Kirk Cousins at quarterback because Kirk Cousins really didn't target him last year either. We saw really bad Kirk Cousins earlier this season. I don't know if that's the Kirk Cousins we get, if we get some in between last year and this year, but I think Kyle Pitts is just done for this season, which is sad because again, he's having really the best season he's had since his rookie season, but yeah, I don't think it finishes off well. So
yeah, this is another one where, I mean, I had always looked at the value of Pitts just because of Josh made fun of people who were too hung up on draft capital way many years after the draft capital actually matters. But even if I wasn't panicked about Pitts, it's Kirk Cousins. I'm panicked about this entire offense, not named Bijan Robinson.
100%.
And what's sad is that the schedule going forward for Pitts and Atlanta is not horrible. It looks very nice.
Yeah. But he should have did something this week. It's just like, how many more 5-point games am I taking from this guy? So,
1, 2, 3, 4.
that many.
No more. He's the waiver wire problems now.
Yeah, he's got 6 more games, so get ready.
Now, full panic on Pitts. I'll be honest, I don't have Pitts in any leagues. Pitts was one of those players where it's like, would I rather Pitts or would I rather rely on my streaming research that I do every week anyway? And it's always going to be the streaming research. So,
yeah, Pitts or Njoku?
No.
I mean,
Juwan Johnson.
No, but that's what I'm getting at, right? That's
Yeah.
the question mark. It's the same question mark.
Yeah.
All right, get to these last few questions here before we get into the Monday night game. Joseph says Schultz, Hunter Henry stream for week 12.
So early. Don't even know the schedule. Top of my head, I'm going Schultz. I'll have a way better answer for you tomorrow on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'd probably say Schultz as well.
Is Dak better quarterback rest of the season than Burrow, Purdy, or JD5? Well, Burrow's still on IR. JD5 should be on IR. If Burrow or JD5 come back, all 3 are on waivers. My quarterbacks are Danny Dimes and Dak.
If I want Burrow, Burrow should not be out there in your league. I don't know what he's going to be when he comes back, but I don't want to find out on my league mates roster. I want Burrow. I think Dak is probably better. I'm dropping Dimes and getting Burrow, plain and simple.
I mean, honestly, I think Purdy's it because I don't think Cincinnati is. I don't see Cincinnati looking at their current situation and being
like, let's bring Joe Burrow back.
Yeah, I mean,
that's fair.
They're gonna rush him back, I think, and that's just gonna be a headache. And I don't know. I don't trust.
You're absolutely right.
If you have 2 QBs, why the fuck do you need a third unless it's super flex? That's the other side of it for me. Yeah, but if it's super flex, why are those 3 out there? You know what I mean?
It's not super flex.
It's not super flex. There's
so
no
like you don't need to worry about it. You've got Dak. You've got.
Yeah, you're just gonna end up starting the wrong guy. Trust us.
Yeah, you're gonna end up whiffing on who you start week in and week out, and you're gonna have more headaches than you want.
Yeah, there's no reason.
Let it be somebody else's problem.
No reason to get Burrow. They're 3-7, and they're not getting any better with Burrow. So, Kenny says, who would you drop to acquire Christian Watson? Brian Robinson, picked him up in case of a CMC injury, Godwin, or Jaden Reed?
Godwin practiced this week as well. It's Reed for me.
It's Reed. I think Godwin was at practice. So,
yeah.
Reed.
We haven't heard anything on Reed. Just so I don't waste a waiver claim on Bam Knight, would you start him over the likes of either of these players, Pearsall, Trey Tucker, Tez Johnson next week?
Probably not. Trey Tucker's interesting. I'm in no rush to start Trey Tucker, but I'm not in a rush to start Bam Knight either.
Yeah, I have zero desire to start Arizona Cardinals running back.
Yeah.
Even if Trey Benson comes back, that schedule is brutal.
I know they had a decent game, like both of them, I think.
And that's the thing. I feel like the only reason people are asking about Bam Knight, it's the same thing as earlier this season. He fell into the end zone.
Yeah, and when Josh got very mad at me for even recommending him on waivers, and Josh was absolutely right. So,
like, they had a cake matchup against the fucking Cowboys and didn't do anything. Like, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to get an easier matchup than that. Don't waste your time.
Yeah, 5 carries for 24 yards and a touchdown. He was targeted 4 times, which is weird, but they targeted all their running backs.
Again, 57 pass attempts is not happening.
57 pass attempts. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
Thank you, Zach. You got the message. I hope everybody else does.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in the Arizona running back room at all. Let's get over to Monday night. Cowboys at the Raiders. Cowboys favored by 3.5. Over under of 49.5, and that's probably a little low.
Yeah, it feels like it.
I mean, I think the Cowboys might be able to score 49 by themselves.
Again, they're 1-4 in road games. Just remember that, people. That's why the over-under is what it is.
Outdoors. This is an indoor game. CeeDee Lamb is about to have a night. 21-16 overall after a 2-1 week myself last week. 8-1 run over the last 3 weeks. And I'm going with Michael Mayer. Higher than 9.5. Longest reception. Reason I'm doing this, week 9 versus Jacksonville, his longest reception was 12 yards. Week 10 against Denver, his longest reception was 11 yards. Both weeks, Brock Bowers was on the field. It seems to be, an ongoing theme here with the Raiders running two tight ends. Oh, wait, that's because they have any wide receivers. So they have to run 2 tight ends. Las Vegas, it's just going to be a pass. Genty's going to get a few yards on the ground, but it's going to be a pass game. There's no way that it's not. I will drop the rest of my 3-leg parlay into the Discord for you after the show here. Ryan, you've got one for today.
Yeah, I'm going Ashton Genty. I'm going to go with his total yards, not just his rushing yards, though. His rushing yards was a fine number, 65.5 yards. Cowboys are giving up 110 per game on the season, but they're also giving up 46 receiving per game. And Genty's been getting more and more involved as a receiver. And like Jay said, I think this is going to be a game where they have to throw more. 2 weeks ago, Genty had 88 total yards when you throw in his receiving yards. And so this is a situation where it's 88 again, where he has to hit it on total against a very bad Cowboys defense. I like bets for total yards where he could hit it on either one of the 2 stats.
Yeah, I love that number, 88.5 total.
Yeah.
Josh, you got one for tonight?
Yeah, I'm going CeeDee Lamb higher than 6.5 receptions. Only once this season has he been under 7. So this lines up perfectly with this prop. 2 of the last 3 games, Vegas has allowed a wide receiver over 7 catches. Again, road games have been a struggle for Dallas. They're 1-4, but that typically means they have to throw to keep up. Not saying that the Raiders are going to, world beat this defense.
Yeah.
But hey, we've seen this Dallas defense get beat plenty of times. So
yes, we have.
It's any given Sunday, but any given Monday night, people, let's roll with it. Look, Dak Prescott looks towards CeeDee Lamb. He is the wide receiver 1. He's the first read in this offense. This should be a very easy line to hit, and I would be shocked if it doesn't.
I like it. I want to put this in real quick. I want to see what we got as far as numbers. We got that one there. We got CeeDee Lamb over 7 there. And then where's Michael Mayer? Where are you? I want to put this in because I want to give everybody the opportunity to tail us on this if you would like. Longest reception.
Unless you're in New York.
There is also a 40% profit boost you can grab on this as well. So the parlay for today for our show, Michael Mayer over 9.5 longest reception. They're not offering it at 9.5. They're offering it at 4.5. You can change that line if you would like as well. Ashton Genty 88.5 total yards, and CeeDee Lamb over or higher than 6.5 receptions. If you go over to Underdog, make sure you use promo code WOFF. That's still valid, Josh?
Yep.
And what does it get you now? I don't even remember what all it gets you. It gets you a lot of shit.
I don't know.
I think it's a free pick in the pick'em and up to $1,000 bonus cash on a deposit match.
That's exactly what it does. If you go with this 40% profit boost right now, it is a 7.3 total boost.
Nice.
$5 gets you 40, basically.
That'll work.
Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. Whether you're over here on YouTube or any other podcast platform, make sure you're following us over there. Make sure you're joining us over in the Discord. The link, I believe, is in the chat. Josh just dropped that. A couple more. I believe we got one more chat question here. Jeff Rogers says, in what order would you prioritize these players? Gainwell, Sean Tucker, Emmanuel Wilson, Bam Knight.
If it's
not Bam Knight.
If it's these specific players, he throws in Chris Rodriguez as a follow-up. I'm actually moving Rodriguez to the front of the line and then moving Wilson behind Rodriguez. So it's Rodriguez, Wilson, Gainwell, Tucker, Knight. And that's only because I think our boy's back this week, Bucky.
Yeah, it's Rodriguez, Wilson. I would flip Tucker and Gainwell personally.
That's fair too. Yep.
Bam Knight is off the radar.
Bam Knight is not a priority.
Teams on bye next week: Broncos, Dolphins, Chargers, and Commanders.
Yeah.
Make sure you're checking out the waiver wire show tomorrow, wiretapped at 11 a.m. with these two. We will get you ready for your waiver claims. Guys, anything else for the day? I know I was late, so I didn't get to bitch too much today. Kind of makes me feel good that I didn't have to bitch too much this morning. I did get bitched out a little bit, but not nothing. No, I didn't get bitched out at all. Josh, Ryan, any last words for the people?
Let's get out of here.
Nope. Let's do it. Let's get out. See you guys tomorrow
morning.